Good afternoon, everyone, and a really warm welcome. We've had an amazing morning. We've had a huge number of staff through looking at the displays and taking the opportunity to come and be with us for our 50th anniversary. My Lord Lieutenants, esteemed guests, and dedicated colleagues, staff, good afternoon. As I said, it is really wonderful to have you all here joining us for this very special day. For those that don't know me, I'm Lorna Birse-Stewart. I'm Chair of NHS Tayside, and it is my really great pleasure to welcome everyone here to this event, which marks the 50th anniversary of Her Majesty the Queen Mother coming to open Ninewells officially on the 23rd of October 1974. But we look back, the opening was the culmination of a decade, almost a decade, of construction work here on this site to create the first new teaching hospital and medical school, not only in Scotland, but in the wider UK, that was built since the 19th century. And at the time, it was the largest hospital and medical school build in Europe as well at that time. It's a real privilege for me to be leading the organisation as chair for this very special milestone. And this, and you see the gold balloons, the golden milestone in the history of Ninewells Hospital and the medical school, offers us a really important opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's worked at the hospital and been at our medical school over those last 50 years. Before I hand over to Nicky, who's recently joined us as our substantive chief executive, I'd like to ask everyone, in fact, the band has packed up and gone, but if you had been here a wee bit earlier and the staff were here from early morning, we had John Ritchie and his Swing Sensation Band entertaining the staff, and the noise levels were extremely high, and they have really performed a really uplifting selection of music. So I'd also like to thank everyone that's been involved with the organisation of this 50th anniversary. It's been going on all week. Our communications teams, our foundation staff, our estates and facilities staff, huge numbers of people have been involved, so a huge thank you to everyone. So can we just have a round of applause for that, everyone? Thank you. So I'm now going to pass over to Nicky. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Nicky, Chief Executive, and what a pleasure and a privilege it is to be here with you today. As some of you may know, my training started right here in this building when I trained as a nurse 30 years ago this year. I know I don't look it, but 30 years ago trained here. And when I reflected coming down here today, it made me think about actually what does Ninewells mean to me? And it's really special. Ninewells is in my heart. It's where I started my career within the NHS service. It's where I worked with some of the most amazing role models that we have in our profession. And it's where I was able to work across a wide and diverse range of services that are delivering for our population high quality care. And to have returned 30 years later, I am still just as proud of what we deliver within this building through a hugely talented workforce who are absolutely committed to getting it right for our population. But over that time, a few things have changed. So in 1975, the year I was born, so I can take no credit of that one, there was the radiotherapy department which was opened, which was Dundee's first linear accelerator, which was used for treating cancer. And over the years, this is a department that has grown both to keep pace and to take forward further innovations and technologies. The Tort Centre opened in 1999, and that's been one of the most amazing visits that I have undertaken since I have taken up post, providing the latest prosthetic services for people and assistive technology for people. And that's supporting independence, and it's changing people's lives, including specialist wheelchairs and postural devices. There was also Tayside Children's Hospital, and that was created in 2006. And what that did was bring forward a medical ward, a high dependency unit, an outpatients clinic, an operating theatre, and an indoor and outdoor play centre, absolutely bringing together quality care for our children. In 2019, we welcomed the new NHS Scotland Pharmaceutical Special Services, which is a manufacturing facility. It replaced 2 former units that we had here in Ninewells and in the Western Infirmary, and it means we're delivering not just for Scotland, we're delivering for the UK from this building. And it's not just the physical building, that is important, but there have been changes over the years, both in terms of new innovations, new techniques and new ways of working. An example of that would be the introduction of keyhole surgery. And in 1987, Britain's first ever laparoscopic procedure to remove a woman's gallbladder happened right here in Ninewells. And our surgical teams have continued to embrace technology and new and different ways of working. And hundreds of patients are benefiting from this. In fact, the operation on the 700th patient is very fitting because it's happening today on our 50th anniversary. Ninewells also has led the way for IVF treatment, with the first IVF baby in Scotland conceived and born in this hospital in 1984, followed by a huge number of other firsts, including babies being born using donated and frozen embryos. And these are just a few of our milestones. There is so incredibly much to be proud of, and reflecting on what I just said there just now, that isn't about the building, that's about our staff driving forward, being forward thinking, the partnerships that we have with our universities and that we have with other partners across Scotland coming to fruition. And it is only possible through the dedication and the commitment of our staff to deliver the best possible care that we can possibly deliver for the people of Tayside, right up now, over the last 50 years and for the years to come. A hospital of this size requires hundreds and thousands actually of staff from a wide range of services, not just our clinical staff. We have got staff within our facilities, our estates, our portering, our administration, our finance, our HR, and I know I'm going to accidentally not say people, but what I'm trying to say is there's a wide, diverse range of services that enable the smooth running of a hospital, and that enables us to deliver for our staff and to deliver for our patients. And I'd want to say thank you to each and every member of staff who is part of the delivery of care in Ninewells Hospital. Whether you're in this building or whether you're not in this building, you're an important cog in what we deliver for the people of Tayside. It really is my privilege to be here today. It's my privilege to lead NHS Tayside, and it's my absolute joy to be able to celebrate with you the importance and the significance of Ninewells. Its reputation also stretches far and it stretches wide. And how far-reaching we are today, we can show just through some of the special birthday messages that we have received. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, and a very happy 50th birthday. One of the roles of the Lord Provost of Dundee, which I am as well, is to go and wish people who have reached 100 years of age a happy birthday, and those who have reached an anniversary, which is their 60th anniversary. And last week I visited a lady on her 100th birthday. So I hope that in 50 years, oh, there's Lorna there. Hi, Lorna. In 50 years' time, whoever he or she, as the Lord Provost of Dundee is, will be coming here to wish you 100 happy birthdays. Anyway, thank you. And also, it was quite interesting to hear Kirsty talk about the Torch Centre, because I've been to the Torch Centre. In fact, I've been round this hospital, just about every department. I'm ticking it off as I go round. And twice out of two, I've got lost trying to find it, to be honest with you. One was going on the outside, and one, I don't know where I ended up, but one of the staff was unbelievably helpful. I thought it was only going to take me 2 minutes, 10 minutes, and again, 6,500 steps on my phone. So I now know where the Torch Centre is, and I will not lose it again. So thank you very much for your kind invitation to speak at this very, very special Ninewells at 50 celebration event. It is a great honour to be with you. I actually received two invitations, two separate invitations to come. One was to be here to do speaking, and one was to plant a tree. Yeah. Don't know if that was the tree I saw on the way in, by the way. Already planted, there was another one. A couple of things, if I may, on that. One invite was to the Lord Provost of the City of Dundee, and another was an invite to the Lord Lieutenant of Dundee, and I can personally confirm that they are one and the same person. And before you is someone who has remarkably often been mistaken, as I was when I was at last year at the Radio 1 big weekend, which I'm sure some of you were. Some of you were there. I think I was about the oldest person there, but you know, I see some people in the room who I did see there, and I was there to present some gifts on behalf of the city to the head of Radio 1 and the head of BBC Scotland. But as I got out the car, which is parked out there, it's a pretty big car to be honest with you, TS1. I had the shirt on. It was a beautiful blue sky morning, and I got out and I could see all these young kids going and looking round with seeing the bling and thinking, there must be an aged rapper stand here. But to be honest, I only do hip hop when I'm in the confines of my own residence. And only when my wife, or the Lady Provost as she likes me to call her at home, is not in. The title Lord Provost encapsulates both being Provost and also being Lord Lieutenant. And there are four of us: Dundee, Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow. And I am in Dundee, the monarchy's representative. So I was on the very sad occasion of the Queen's funeral at Westminster, and as she lay in state at St Giles in the capital. And also on the very joyous occasion of the coronation of King Charles III, again both at Westminster and in St Giles on the Royal Mile. And I believe there are other Lord Lieutenants here with us, and at least one DL, which is a Deputy Lieutenant, of which I have some in Dundee. So hello to you if you're there, maybe speak to you later on. I think before I am assisting in planting a tree, I think it's important, in fact it's actually incumbent upon me, and I probably should have told you by email before I did this, that I have in 28 consecutive years won the worst garden in Broughty Ferry award, just so you know. But my garden is so weedy, it's actually in the top 5 of modern day bumblebee friendly gardens. So there we go. But thank you for asking me. The chain of office has played a part in my time in coming to many occasions to Ninewells, and in particular when I've had to get an MRI scan or a CT scan, and they put the gown on you and the little slippers, and then they ask you if you've got any metal on you. I thought that was quite funny. Score out. So, Dundee is a magnificent city, and a magnificent city should surely have a magnificent hospital, and that is Ninewells Hospital. There's no question about it. And I'm sure you would agree. In fact, possibly like many of you, some of you, I think, you all look very healthy. I have used so many different departments in Dundee over the years, and the different hospitals that make up NHS Tayside around the city, including the PRIs I was mentioning there. But King's Cross has been the second most common hospital that I've been to. And again, the chain of office is always an issue when I'm getting an X-ray, because I wear it all the time. The entire NHS network in Dundee I've found to be absolutely wonderful, from the staff to the medical facilities to the hospital itself. I'm not sure I should say this, but many times when I've been to a hospital and feeling a bit down, it feels a lively, warm place to actually come into, and that kind of makes you a little bit more comfortable when you're worried about your health. And like my own family, I think it's important that I can relate to the hospital in so many different ways. I have been round much of the hospital. I had the wonderful experience as Lord Provost of going round, courtesy of the Archie Foundation, the children's part of the hospital, which will forever inspire me. It was an absolutely amazing event, and we're having something with them in the City Chambers later this year. My own son, now 31, a PhD lecturer in Glasgow University, but when he was 1, he had a hypoglycemic attack, couldn't get him waking properly, 1 bottle of milk, and he's running about, but fortunately we were at the hospital. And a year later he had a Bell's palsy. We still have the TV that we got, a little monitor, and every time he did his exercises, we put a sticky smiley face on, and we've kept that as a reminder of how lucky we were to have Ninewells Hospital at the time when our son was very, very young. So my whole family have experienced real benefits from such a wonderful hospital. One of the good things about the hospital, if you live in Dundee, like everywhere else, is its proximity. It's not that long to get here, no matter where you are. And maybe not with the roadworks at the moment, but it is reassuring to know any time of day, and we have been here any time of day, that Ninewells is here, and that is a great thing. So 50 years, a remarkable milestone, and I find it rare to find anyone from Dundee and the surrounding area who has not had the experience of receiving care and support for themselves or for a loved one. I did a speech on Monday evening at the amazing Dundee and Angus College on the Gardyne campus, celebrating their achievement of being the first Scottish college to be a college of sanctuary. And their principal, Simon Hewitt, who is an amazing guy, has spoken often about 1 in 3 of Dundee citizens interfacing with Dundee and Angus College over the years. And when I think about Ninewells Hospital, I don't know what the figure is, but it wouldn't have shocked me if you said 99% of people in Dundee at some time or another have had an interface for them or their family. To the building itself, which often I see coming in from Perth if we're coming back up in the hill, reassuringly knowing I'm back in the city, it is an important part of the city landscape. It acts as a symbol of fantastic service that so many of our citizens have come to expect from the extremely high standards set by NHS Tayside. And importantly for many people, at often their desperate hour, it is a beacon of hope. So, on behalf of the City of Dundee, I want to thank everyone who helps keep Ninewells the success story that it is and provides an impeccable service to our citizens. Ninewells is a place of compassion. We've come to rely upon it, and it helps people in their hour of need. And this is done through the dedication of the staff at all levels who continually do their best to help so many individuals, families, and Lord Provost kicking about looking for where the Torch Centre is. It's only right that we gather here on this very special occasion this afternoon to mark this important anniversary. The facilities and the exceptional healthcare professionals who have and who continue to provide a vital platform for training through the University Medical School and skill development, aspiring health professionals, deepening their understanding of their chosen professions, which in the end benefit us all. Its role as a teaching hospital is surely of profound significance in this area and probably beyond Scotland, the UK and the world. The medical school through the university will ensure Ninewells will continue to provide medical staff for all of us today, tomorrow and for the years to come, including the vital clinical research that goes on at this hospital. So on behalf of the citizens of Dundee, to the staff past and present, thank you for having supported just about everybody in Dundee at one time or another and their family over the last 50 years. Your dedication is inspiring, it is appreciated, and it is widely recognised. This is a legacy that Ninewells will continue to take forward, I am sure, in the next 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorna, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words on behalf of the medical school to this 50th anniversary of Ninewells Hospital. As Bill alluded to, the Lord Provost alluded to later on, one of the first things you find when you arrive in Ninewells is just the sheer size of the hospital. It's one of the biggest hospitals in Europe when it was first established. And certainly when I'm on call, because I'm also an honorary consultant here, and I'm doing my rounds in the hospital, I do at least 20, 30,000 steps a day, So when you heard the Prime Minister recently say that we should be giving Wegovy or Mounjaro to almost everyone in the population in the United Kingdom, we should perhaps be inviting them here into Ninewells, do a few laps of level 5, and it would make a huge difference to their overall health. I hope you also enjoy the screen. I've been sitting in the back and looking at the screen with all the images going past. We actually put this in for the European Championships. We were very keen to see what was happening, but given that run-up that Scotland actually had going into the European Championships, we decided to turn it off. We didn't think the coronary care unit in this hospital could actually take the challenges that would come with it afterwards. So thank you all again, and thank you all for coming here today and for gathering to celebrate this remarkable birthday. It's 50 years, obviously, since the inaugural University Chancellor, the Queen Mother, officially opened Ninewells Hospital and Medical School. Many of you may not know this, but this medical school was the first medical school in the country to be embedded within a hospital. And that was something that was very, very unique. At most medical schools, you'll spend the first 2 to 3 years of your education away from the hospital learning the basic sciences. Whereas here, we embed people in clinical practice right from the start. And our students love it. They love to be part of the hospital. They feel right from the start what it is they're destined one day to become. And I think that helps them in their development and in their training. It's often actually said by my colleagues around the UK that you can spot a doctor who is trained in Dundee. Our School of Medicine's unique position within this outstanding hospital is one of the strengths that we offer that very few medical schools can offer. And every year, when foundation doctors are assessed, the medical students in Dundee always come out as the most ready for clinical practice, to get in, to engage, and to work with the NHS straight away. And I think that's testament to our close working in the hospital. We have this philosophy, you see, and that is that we want our students to be doctors from day one. They have to engage with clinical practice right from the start, fostering very regular interactions between academics, healthcare professionals, researchers, all of our colleagues here at NHS. Most of our colleagues also teach here across the healthcare professions, and they contribute to the education of our medical students. And I think that's fundamental to them. And the environment in Ninewells, I think, facilitates this collaborative learning, and it delivers, I think, tremendous benefits to society as well as to medicine. I think this joint approach has helped, and they recently highlighted when we were, Sunday Times and the Times, had us down as being the top medical school in Scotland and the second best in the UK. And I think that's a tremendous achievement and would not happen without the close working relationship between those two schools. So I want to take a moment now to honour the staff and students whose dedication has really shaped Ninewells' success over the last few years. Some of the groundbreaking work that you've already heard about this morning, such as keyhole surgery pioneered by Sir Alfred Kisheri that started here in Ninewells, but also the bowel screening programme. That again was developed, is now used throughout the UK, again started here in Ninewells. In urology, you've seen the recent successes with focused ultrasound. There's only 2 of these in the entire UK, one here and one down in London, able to develop life-changing therapy to people with intractable tremors and Parkinson's disease. We have our own Professor James Chalmers, probably one of the most successful clinical academics in the UK today, who's developed the first ever treatment for a chronic inflammatory lung disease called bronchiectasis, and that will improve and change people's lives. We obviously have the work happening in gastroenterology with Hep C eradication, the first region in the UK to do that, and the innovative intelligent liver blood tests, which are able to streamline and make diagnosis early, saves the NHS an awful lot of money, which is why innovation is so critical, but it also enables early and accurate diagnosis, so you can prevent disease rather than have to treat disease. Hence, walk 9 miles rather than take a drug, I think, is a more effective way of going forward. And of course, we also have in diabetes probably the most advanced electronic healthcare system in the world here in developed here in Ninewells, now used throughout Scotland, which is fantastic because it allows both research and clinical practice to occur at exactly the same time. So it's part of routine care and continually is used to evolve and to change what we do on a day-to-day basis. And this type of innovation is now moving out and leaching into all other different specialities. And I think is one way, particularly in the current financial crisis, that we have to use this type of approach in order to optimize care pathways and do so in an efficient and a cheaper way that is actually better and more and enables better care for more people rather than sort of healthcare disparities that we've seen for many, many years. So looking ahead, I think Ninewells will undoubtedly continue to shine light on Dundee. I'm convinced that here in this hospital, in the medical school, we're going to continue to adapt to what is a very quickly evolving landscape of healthcare and education, and the current financial challenges faced by both the NHS and the healthcare higher education sector. But I sort of believe that the legacy that has been established over the last 50 years will persist. Here we have a quiet determination. Sometimes I think too quiet, a bit too Scots Presbyterian. We should be shouting much more about what it is we actually do. But that quiet determination to succeed, to excel, to seize on new opportunities, I think that will continue. And I personally believe, and although I am biased, but I think the critical importance of research, innovation, education is really key to driving change, both within the culture of the university and the culture of the hospital and the clinical practice that we actually all engage on a day-to-day basis. And that's all of us, because we're very much in this together. I think it's best delivered through this close collaboration between the medical school and the healthcare community, particularly here in NHS Tayside. So here's to another 50 years of health and happiness in Ninewells Hospital Medical School. And together, I think we've contributed so much, and I believe we've even more to contribute in the future and over the next 50 years. So thank you very much.
So thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Lord Lieutenants, Deputy Lord Lieutenants from Perth and Kinross, Angus, Dundee City, Rory McCrimmon from the medical school, and Nicky, our Chief Executive. I think what we've all articulated here is we've looked back, we've looked at what's been achieved, and if we think, I was 16 when this hospital opened, and our family had occasion to use it quite a lot at that period of time. And I am just about to retire after nearly 7 years, and 50 years on, it has been my absolute privilege to be leading this organisation. I'm immensely proud of what our staff have achieved over those 50 years. I'm particularly proud of what they have achieved, particularly during my tenure as chair. We've gone through some real challenges, and we met head-on the challenges of COVID. And as a whole organisation working, it is about how we work collaboratively. And as we've heard, our close collaboration with Dundee City, with the university, the medical school, and with our fellow hospitals across Tayside and our acute hospitals at Stracathro and also at Perth Royal Infirmary. But at the time, 50 years ago, as we look back, this was state of the art. When you walked into the reception area, it was like an airport lounge and an airport concourse. So it was the first time that we had really seen in Scotland large, bright, open wards, as Rory's referred to, state-of-the-art theatres and diagnostics. And it made for a really different experience, and we've heard some of that for our patients, our visitors, and our staff. And as we've all referred to, this hospital has touched many, many thousands of lives in many different ways. So this afternoon, it really is an opportunity for us to pause and reflect backwards on what's been achieved, and colleagues have picked up on what we hope to achieve moving forward. So for those of us who've been here maybe since birth and through to some last moments, it will have a very special place in many people's hearts. We're also regularly overwhelmed by gifts and acts of kindness that our patients and our communities and our families bestow on our staff across our wards and departments. And they're as a way of saying thank you for the care and treatment that they've received. And while you will see quite a lot about the University of Dundee, about Ninewells Hospital, today we also have very much the charitable foundation, which we have recently relaunched and repurposed. And it has proved to be a way in which many of our our patients, as I said, and our families choose to give back, find a way of giving back. And so it's really fitting today that we're being joined by a number of representatives of many staff, many patients, many families who've taken part in the Foundation 50 fundraising campaign, which has been a real challenge for everyone. And quite recently we had a fundraising 50 cake sale that had been organised upstairs in my office as well. But I know that a huge number of people have been involved. It has been a really epic fundraising campaign, and my thanks to the foundation staff who have supported everyone. So it's the fundraising activities have rallied support, not just for the hospital's needs, but also for the broader vision and the mission, which is advancing healthcare in and across Tayside. I'm also chair of the charitable foundation, and I would really like to extend my thanks. And for those of you who are not in the room, for those of you who are in the room, please take our thanks back to everyone that has been involved in this fantastic endeavour. From our dedicated volunteers to our very generous donors, some of whom are with us today, your unwavering support has proved that together we really can make a difference. And all of the funds that have been raised from this Foundation 50 will go to support the NHS Tayside Charitable Foundation vision. And I was asked, I think, when I first joined, and our Chief Executive as well, who's also on the Board of Trustees, what is your vision? And the vision is very much to help and support the people of Tayside here, across Tayside, live better and longer lives. So please would you all join me in a round of applause to thank the incredible fundraisers who've joined the Foundation 50 Challenge. So Nicky, as our Chief Executive, and Rory, as the Dean of the Medical School, articulated some of the amazing and pioneering work that has been happening over the Ninewells campus and is currently happening over the last 50 years with inventions, but also some of those inventions and evolutions which have changed the face of healthcare and treatment, both locally, nationally, and, as Rory reflected, sometimes even globally. And yes, I think we don't shout loudly enough about our successes here in Tayside. It's one of the things that I have tried to work to uplift because our staff really deserve that recognition. And I know that Nicky, taking that forward, will very much, it is a difficult time. We went through COVID together. We go through very significant challenges. But we really deserve for Ninewells to receive some of the real accolades for the achievements that they do. But it's not just about the building. It is about the staff. It's about the people that have been with us on that journey for the last 50 years. And as the Lord Lieutenant for Dundee said, he is going to be supporting by planting a tree. And yes, there is another tree which was recently planted as part of the Queen's canopy. And we were able to plant a number of trees in support of Her Majesty the Queen's ambition to have a canopy of trees. So we have one in our three main sites at Stracathro and Angus, at PRI and here. But this is a new tree. And I hope that it will grow and that in 50 years' time, it will provide shade, shelter, and support for staff that are working here and for families and communities that come and visit here. So immediately after this, the Lord Lieutenants and representatives from the other lieutenancies will join Nicky and myself, and we will go forth and plant that tree next to the 50th anniversary plaque, which earlier in the week was placed at the entrance to the hospital. But firstly, I have the honour, and it's one of my last duties as chair of NHS Tayside, to unveil a commemorative plaque. And for me, the importance of the plaque that we're about to unveil is that it recognises the compassion, the dedication and the innovation that has taken place over the last 50 years here at Ninewells Hospital. So can I ask my colleagues from the front here to step up with me and to share unveiling the plaque, and can I invite everyone to a further round of applause, please, to wish Ninewells Hospital a very happy 50th birthday.